Every single day, we make choices that either feed our decline or fuel our transformation. And often the simplest things we overlook hold the most power. One of those is your brain. And if you're over 60, let me tell you something that most people don't realize. Mental decline is not inevitable. It's not some unavoidable curse that comes with age. It's largely a result of nutritional neglect. And among the most overlooked heroes in this story are vitamins, particularly the B vitamins. These aren't trendy supplements or short-term biohacks. These are foundational nutrients, vital ingredients your brain depends on to function, repair, and stay sharp. And the truth is, most people are deficient and don't even know it. B6, B9, and B12. These are the core of what I call the brain's ignition system. Without them, cognitive function starts to slip, not dramatically at first, but subtly. A missed appointment here, a forgotten word there, confusion in conversation, that fog you brush off as normal aging. It's your brain signaling that it's running low on fuel. These B vitamins do something most people never think about. They regulate homocysteine levels. High homocysteine is toxic for your brain. It inflames, it damages, it accelerates aging. But B6, B9, and B12 lower it. They bring it back down, restoring balance and protecting neurons from degeneration. That means these vitamins are doing more than just helping you remember where you left your keys. They're actively preserving your ability to think clearly, to make decisions, to engage in deep conversation. That's quality of life. That's autonomy. And here's where it gets more powerful. These vitamins don't work in isolation. They're part of a symphony. If one is missing, the music doesn't play right. For example, B12 doesn't just help with memory. It's essential for producing myelin, the protective sheath around your nerves. Without it, your brain's communication slows down. You feel slower, you process slower. But when you restore B12, when you get enough through diet or supplement, something remarkable happens. Clarity returns. Reaction time improves. Even mood stabilizes. Let me tell you, I've seen people in their 70s and 80s, folks who were told they had early dementia, completely turn things around just by correcting long-standing deficiencies in these vitamins. Their doctors didn't mention it. Their tests didn't flag it. But when you get serious about supporting the brain nutritionally, transformation begins, not magically, but biologically, because the brain doesn't want to fail. It wants to fire. It just needs the raw materials to do it. And don't forget, folate is something for pregnant women, but your brain loves it. It's involved in methylation, a cellular process that affects everything from DNA repair to neurotransmitter production. When methylation breaks down, your brain starts losing its edge. You might feel depressed, anxious, or just not like yourself, but with proper folate intake, the fog lifts, your mood lightens, your mind comes back online, you feel more you again, and the science backs it up. Clinical studies have shown that supplementing B complex vitamins can slow brain shrinkage by up to 7 times in people at risk for Alzheimer's. 7 times. Think about that. This isn't theoretical. This is measurable change inside the brain just from daily nourishment. Not from a prescription, not from surgery, but from giving your brain what it was always designed to thrive on. Now, I get it. When you walk down the supplement aisle or browse online, it's overwhelming. So many products, so many claims. But this isn't about chasing every new trend. It's about locking in the basics. B6, B9, B12. These are non-negotiables. Get them from food if you can, leafy greens, legumes, eggs, wild-caught fish. But if your digestion isn't what it used to be, or you're on certain medications that interfere with absorption, supplementation may be necessary. And if you're plant-based, you're likely already low in B12 because it's only found in animal-based foods. It's not just about longevity, it's about clarity. Having the ability to engage deeply with your life, with your family, your passions, your goals. no matter your age. You weren't meant to fade out, you were meant to evolve. And the brain, when properly fed, doesn't just survive aging, it can actually thrive through it. So when we talk about transformation, when we talk about the potential for a second wind in your later decades, don't ignore your brain. Start with what fuels it. Because when your mind is clear, your life is clear. Energy, real energy, not the kind that comes from coffee or a sugar spike, but the kind that starts in your cells, the kind that carries you through your day with strength, alertness, and clarity. The truth is, most people walk around tired, not because they're getting older, but because they're underpowered at the cellular level. And here's where vitamins come in, not as extras or nice to haves, but as essential fuel sources for the machinery of life inside your body. When we talk about aging, we often think of wrinkles or slower reflexes, but one of the most devastating aspects of getting older is invisible, the decline in cellular energy. And this doesn't happen overnight, it's gradual. It shows up in your joints, in your recovery time, in how fast you bounce back after walking upstairs or doing something that used to feel effortless. Your body is trying. It hasn't quit on you, but it's starving for certain vitamins, especially ones like magnesium, CoQ10, and vitamin D that are central to how your mitochondria, the energy producers of your cells, do their job. Magnesium is a perfect example. It's involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body, and most of them have to do with energy production and muscle function. When magnesium is low, and it often is, especially in older adults, you don't just feel tired, your muscles ache, your sleep suffers, your heart rhythm becomes irregular, and worst of all, your body starts operating in a kind of low power mode. You're still moving, still going through the motions, but you're not thriving. You're dragging. Then there's CoQ10, coenzyme Q10. Think of it like the spark plug in your engine. It helps convert the food you eat into the energy you feel. Without it, that energy conversion is incomplete. You might be eating right, exercising, even sleeping well, but still feel flat. This is especially important if you're taking statin medications, which deplete your natural CoQ10 levels. It's no wonder so many people over 60 feel zapped and can't explain why. They're missing the very nutrient that allows their body to translate nutrients into usable energy. And vitamin D, this one is massive. Most people associate vitamin D with bones, but its influence goes far beyond that. It regulates calcium, supports immune health, impacts mood, and yes, plays a critical role in muscle function and strength. A deficiency in vitamin D doesn't just make you more vulnerable to illness, it weakens your physical structure. It lowers your resilience. It chips away at your strength slowly until one day you realize you can't do things you used to do with ease. But that's reversible. With the right intake, sunlight, food, or supplementation, you give your muscles and bones the permission to rebuild. You see, when your cells are energized, your whole life feels different. You're not just functioning, you're performing, you're present, you're capable. You feel this sense of internal momentum that makes even ordinary things feel exciting again. Energy is the foundation for everything. Mental clarity, emotional stability, physical endurance. Without it, life feels heavy. With it, life feels possible. This is where most people go wrong. They chase surface level solutions, more caffeine, more naps, more external stimulation, without ever addressing the real issue. And the real issue is this: if your mitochondria aren't getting the raw materials they need, you're never going to feel consistently energized. It doesn't matter how motivated you are, the biology will drag you down. And the fix isn't complicated, it's nutritional, it's cellular. But here's the challenge. As we age, absorption gets harder. You could be eating all the right foods and still not getting enough of these critical vitamins because your digestive efficiency drops with age. That's why it's not enough to simply eat well, you need to absorb well. And sometimes You need to supplement strategically, not randomly. Not because you're broken, but because your body's needs are evolving. That's not a sign of failure. It's a call to adapt. I want you to really let this sink in. Fatigue is not always a signal to rest. Sometimes it's a signal to rebuild. And rebuilding starts inside your cells with nutrients that restore power, not mask the symptoms of power loss. When your body is finally nourished at the deepest level, things begin to shift. You move easier, you think faster, you sleep deeper, you handle stress without being consumed by it. That's not a dream. That's what happens when your energy system is finally restored. So if you're tired of feeling tired, stop blaming age. Start feeding your energy machinery what it's been missing. Because when you restore energy at the root, everything else begins to transform. There's a hidden battle happening inside your body every single day, a battle you can't see, but one that determines whether you stay strong or slowly break down. And most people are losing that battle not because they're careless, but because they're unaware. The body isn't just dealing with wear and tear, it's constantly under attack from inflammation, oxidative stress, and immune dysfunction. But here's the truth most people miss. Your body is already equipped with defenses. It just needs the right tools to keep them working. And that's where certain vitamins become absolutely essential. We often think of vitamins as support players, something to take when you're feeling low. But some of them are actually silent protectors, fighting off the things you don't even feel until they become problems. Vitamins like C, E, and zinc don't just support your system, they actively defend it. They act at the molecular level to neutralize oxidative stress, to suppress chronic inflammation, and to power up the immune system so it's ready for anything. Vitamin C is more than just something you take when you have a cold. At a cellular level, it's a powerful antioxidant that scavenges free radicals, unstable molecules that can damage cells and DNA. When left unchecked, oxidative stress caused by free radicals accelerates aging and contributes to nearly every chronic disease we fear most: cancer, cardiovascular issues, Alzheimer's, arthritis. But when your body has enough vitamin C, that internal damage is slowed. You protect your skin, your brain, your heart, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. Then you have vitamin E, another antioxidant, but working in a slightly different way. It embeds itself into your cell membranes and guards them like a shield. It prevents the lipids in your cells from breaking down under stress. This is especially critical in the brain, where cells are rich in fats and more vulnerable to oxidation. And when vitamin E is present in the right amount, those cells are protected. Your memory lasts longer, your coordination stays stronger, your clarity remains intact. But what really brings it all together is zinc. Zinc is like the commander of your immune army. It's not just helping immune cells communicate, it's involved in the actual development and activation of those cells. Without enough zinc, your immune response is sluggish, your body is slower to heal, and you become more susceptible to infections, everything from minor colds to serious illnesses. And that's not all. Zinc also plays a vital role in controlling inflammation, the slow burn that underlies almost every disease we associate with aging. When inflammation goes unchecked, it starts attacking your own tissues, joints ache, blood vessels stiffen, brain function declines. But zinc, when present in the right amounts, helps turn the volume down on that inflammatory response, keeping the system in balance. Now, here's the real problem. We don't feel oxidative stress or immune dysfunction until it's already taken a toll. You don't wake up one day with a diagnosis and realize your body was fighting a losing battle for years. These deficiencies creep in silently. They steal your resilience in the background. That's why proactive defense is the only real strategy. Waiting until you're sick is like fixing a roof in a storm. It's too late. But when you support your system daily with what it needs, you start to see something amazing. fewer illnesses, faster recovery, less brain fog, more stability in your energy and emotions. You become harder to knock down. And we're not talking about mega doses or extreme supplementation. We're talking about consistency, daily support, making sure that what your body uses every day is replaced every day. Vitamin C is water soluble. Your body doesn't store it. That means you need it consistently from fruits, vegetables, or high quality supplements. Same with zinc. It's not something your body hoards. You use it or you lose it. And vitamin E, it depends heavily on diet, nuts, seeds, oils, but many people don't get nearly enough through food, especially on low fat or restrictive diets. So if you're someone who's been dealing with chronic low energy, poor recovery, or getting sick too often, it might not be your age. It might be your defenses breaking down slowly. And the moment you restore them, you don't just prevent disease. You start feeling a kind of strength again. Not just muscular, but deep cellular resilience. You stop reacting to every little shift in weather, stress, or germs. You become a more stable system, one that can take on more, handle more, live more fully. Because in the end, transformation isn't just about what you add, it's about what you protect. Give your body what it needs to defend itself, and you won't just survive longer, you'll live stronger. Your emotional strength, your ability to stay calm in chaos, to push through hard days, to hold on to hope when things fall apart, doesn't just come from mindset. It comes from biology. And too many people are trying to be mentally strong while their body is starving for the very nutrients that make resilience possible. You can't meditate your way out of a biochemical imbalance. You can't talk your way through burnout if your brain chemistry is broken. Emotional resilience starts with nutrient intelligence. And if you want your mind to be steady, your body has to be supported in the right way. At the heart of this are three crucial nutrients: omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D3, and magnesium. These aren't just good for you, they're foundational for your emotional regulation system. They influence everything from neurotransmitter production to hormonal balance, to how your nervous system responds to stress. And yet, these are the very nutrients most people are lacking. Start with omega-3s. Your brain is made up of about 60% fat, and omega-3 fatty acids, especially DHA, are what that fat is supposed to be made of. These fats help build flexible, responsive brain cells that can communicate effectively. When omega-3 levels are low, the brain literally becomes rigid. Connections break down. Inflammation rises. And your ability to think clearly or feel emotionally stable starts to suffer. That's why low omega-3 intake has been linked to depression, anxiety, and even cognitive decline. But when you restore it, when you consistently nourish your brain with EPA and DHA from fatty fish or supplements, you start to notice a shift. Your thoughts are more organized. You feel more grounded. You're not as easily thrown by daily stressors. Then there's vitamin D3. Most people think of it as the sunshine vitamin, but its influence on mood is deep and powerful. Vitamin D3 interacts directly with areas of the brain involved in emotion and behavior. It helps regulate serotonin, the neurotransmitter responsible for feelings of well-being and calm. When vitamin D levels drop, so does serotonin. And the social emotional links to health, so does serotonin. You feel more irritable, more anxious, more withdrawn. And the worst part is you may not even realize it's a deficiency. You just assume you're off or that life is getting harder. But once you restore your vitamin D3 levels, often through consistent supplementation or smart sun exposure, the fog lifts. Your mood begins to stabilize. You don't feel so reactive anymore. You feel more in control. And magnesium, this one's a game changer. Magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in the body, but one of its most powerful effects is on the nervous system. It acts almost like a natural tranquilizer, not in a sedating way, but in a balancing, regulating way. It helps your brain calm down when it's overstimulated. It lowers cortisol, the stress hormone. It improves sleep quality. And it's absolutely essential for people who struggle with anxiety, racing thoughts, or emotional volatility. Without enough magnesium, your body can't shift out of fight or flight mode. But with it, you gain access to calm, to rest, to rational thought. It's not just about feeling relaxed. It's about being able to respond instead of react. All of this points to one central truth. Your emotional health is deeply physical. It's not just in your head, it's in your cells, it's in your bloodstream, it's in your nutrient profile. And once you understand that, everything changes. You stop blaming yourself for struggling. You stop thinking you're weak or broken, and you start asking the right question. What is my body missing? Because when you give your body what it needs, your mind responds. You're more patient, more focused, more optimistic. You don't fall apart when things get hard, you bend and return. That's resilience. And it's not a character trait you either have or don't have. It's a capacity you build biologically with the right support. So many people are chasing emotional strength while ignoring the foundation that makes it possible. They push themselves harder, try to think more positively, or hide what they're feeling because they think emotional struggle is a sign of weakness. But what if it's a sign of depletion? What if your mood swings, your short temper, your overwhelm, what if those are just your body asking for support? That shift in perspective changes everything. Suddenly, it's not about pushing through or toughing it out. It's about nourishing the systems that carry you through life's storms. You stop trying to be unbreakable and start becoming adaptable. And you start realizing that true strength isn't about being untouched by stress. It's about being fully resourced to meet it. Because when you feed your body what it truly needs, your emotions no longer control you, you lead them.